And a very good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Sandy Elson, and on behalf of the travel professional community and homebasedtravelagent.com, I want to welcome all of you and thank you for taking time out of your busy summer day to join us today. Our host is Emerald Waterways, and today's title is Emerald Waterways Best Value in Deluxe River Cruises. Our speaker is our good friend Randy Goodrich, who is a trainer for both Emerald Waterways and Scenic Cruises. Randy is the Business Development Manager for agents in Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, Hawaii, Northern California, Utah, and Colorado. And as always, we really appreciate the support we get from Emerald and Scenic. Before we get started, please remember that you are all muted, but we welcome your questions. You can type in your questions at any time in the question area you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. At the end of Randy's presentation, we'll get to as many questions as we can. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Randy now so he can get started. Welcome back, Randy.
Thanks, Sandy. Hope everybody's having a great day and an enjoyable summer. We're getting ready for hopefully the busy season coming up here in September after everybody gets back from the holidays, and we want to get you prepared to sell some more river cruises. So today we're going to talk about Emerald Waterways, actually the newest river cruise company out there. It just started last year in business and is doing quite well. I'm going to tell you about the line and some of the special features, and I will also do my best to show you why it is the best value out there when you compare it to everybody else. And we'll go through that today. Now, I'll take some questions when we're all done. So if I get my slide to advance here, I'll be doing better. There we go. So just picture the ship. Emerald is owned by Scenic Tours. That Scenic Tours is an Australian company, started in business with doing tours in Australia in 1986 and then started expanding and now provides luxury tours throughout the world to Australians, New Zealanders, people from the UK, and starting to do some of that in North America. 2008, they got into the river cruise business, starting Scenic Cruises, and wanted to build a luxury cruise line. Now, in 2008, probably wasn't the best time economically to start a new company in travel, but Mr. Moroney, who is the owner and founder of the business, wanted to get into the river cruise business. He had chartered several of the competitors' boats the last 2 years and came up with some innovative ideas on how he felt river cruising ships should work and how the whole experience should happen. Amongst those was he was the first person to build a river cruise ship that had all balcony cabins on the second and third deck. So he's expanded Scenic to have 12 ships now. We have about 16 or 17 next year. So that's growing rapidly in the luxury end of the business. And he wanted to come out with a new line that would be more price competitive. Obviously, people like Viking and others have made a huge impact, especially in North America, to get more and more people interested in river cruising. He wanted to take advantage of that for people that are looking for a little bit better value. So Emerald started last year with 2 ships. This year we have 2 ships more, and we'll have 5 ships as of next year. They're very innovative. They won some awards last year, including Best New River Cruise Ship by Cruise Critic. So it's very innovative design. We'll go through some of that and some of the special features here today. So they're called starships. We love them because they kind of are a star of the rivers. They, again, have some unique features that it's probably a 4+ star experience. Personally, with my travel background, trying to compare what Scenic and Emerald are like when you look at ocean cruise people, that would be, to me, Regent and Ocean. Both very deluxe ships, deluxe service, great food, all that, just a different category of what's included and what's not. And in the case of Scenic, some special features that nobody else has. But in the case of Emerald, they've got their pool/cinema that we'll show you in a minute, which is very special. So both lines are very, very upscale and deluxe ships and service, but it's just a matter of what's included and what's not. So the two ships we had last year were the Sky and the Star, and the two new this year, the Dawn and the Sun. They all are identical. All of them are the maximum 443 foot long and 40-some feet wide that the ships are allowed to be in Europe to get through the canals and under the bridges. This is a basic design. You have 3 decks, and then you have the top sun deck. 3 decks, they have cabins. The lowest deck, those are the lowest price cabins. In the back part of that, the white space, that's where the crew is. I point that out because we have fewer cabins than some of the other primary river cruise companies, because we have a few more crew, and that's where we put them. We have extra space there. And you'll see there's where the pool is on the 3rd deck in the back, and we'll show you another picture of that in a minute. The 2nd deck would have the dining room in the front, and the 3rd deck would have the lounge and another small dining area. We talked about value, so let's go through that. We'll go through this a couple of times, but we include airport transfers. No matter whether you buy air from us or not, we do have air available. But we know that a lot of people want to do their own air or have you do it or have use their miles. So we want them to get to the ship properly. So as long as we know their arrival information, we will get them to the ship, and vice versa when they are done with theirs. Other people would include transfers only if you buy their air. So there's a pricing differential right there. Of course, all meals are included in both our Reflections restaurant, and we have a terrace as well. I'll show you that later. Complimentary wine, beer, and soft drinks that accompany lunch and dinner. We do have an optional drink package as well. Tea and coffee available at all times. Nice 24-hour coffee service. Bottled water in the cabin every day. We have an included shore excursion pretty much every day we're in port. But we also include some extra shore excursions that others don't include. They're optional, so you have to pay for them. That can be anywhere from $100 to a couple $100 per person, depending on the tour, but we just include those because we think they're important. Of course, we have the local guides. They're the same guides that we use for scenic and our scenic tours as well, so we're very well ingrained, especially in the European marketplace, having served upscale clients there for over almost 30 years. So we have kind of handpicked our guides. We prepay all the tips, so they know they're getting paid. They do a great job. Complimentary Wi-Fi throughout the ship. All port charges are included. We do have bicycles. They're not the e-bikes like Scenic has, but they are bicycles on board, so people can get out and about. English speaking, everything is English. And we take care of all tips and gratuities, both on the ship and on the shore excursions that we include. So in a 2-week cruise, that could be as much as $600-700. So it needs to be taken into consideration when you're comparing prices. The ship itself is more of a modern design, say, than Scenic and some others. Lots of glass, lots of chrome, very open, everything's windows wherever we can put them. So it's a very open feel, very modern feeling, kind of W hotel type style. Lots of sitting areas for people to be comfortable. Our primary lounge is called the Horizon Bar Lounge. It's bigger than a lot of the others. We have tons of sitting areas where people really kind of encourages people to sit down and get to know each other and develop some friendships. We hope will last forever. You can see how open the windows are in the lounge itself. Our primary restaurant is called Reflections. It's beautiful. It's a one seating. Everybody can sit down. There's plenty of room, plenty of different configurations. We have good wine and beers served, multiple ones, not just one or two, but multiple choices for wines, different kinds of whites, different kinds of reds, etc. The breakfasts are typically a buffet style, and hot and cold breakfast is some items that are very healthy, yogurts, things like that, to items that are not quite so healthy, but very yummy. And they'll make make eggs to order and things like that. Buffet style lunch, more food than anybody can eat. There are 4-course dinners. As I mentioned, beer and wine. So here's just a sample menu for the 4-course dinner. So you can see there's a nice selection of different types of food. Also, if people have issues like gluten-free, etc., we just need to know that ahead of time, and we'll make sure we accommodate that. There's a nice form that you fill out when you set up, they call it the tour personalizer, which is similar to a guest information form. And that is where you put in any kind of allergies or food or medical issues that we should be aware of before they come on board. The other dining area is called the terrace. It's up in the bow of the ship behind the main bar area. It's really nice for breakfast and lunch. Meant to be a little bit lighter meal compared to the buffets downstairs. It's also a lovely place to sit. You're either outside or inside, and you have a perfect view of wherever we have to be on that day. This kind of a rendition of the ship, so you can get an idea of where this pool area is in the back and how the retractable roof works, and it's all open. It's absolutely lovely. I'll show it to you in just a few minutes. But it's quite the feature of this ship and makes it very unique. Also, that room also becomes a very nice party room. We've had incentive groups doing meetings in there. It's got full AV equipment, etc. So if you do have groups or even charters, it just enhances the whole process by having this area that people could sit down and meet or have a party or whatever. Certainly there's a wellness and a spa area, a nice little workout area for those who don't get enough workout during the day, hiking all over the place. Those who need a massage and those who need a haircut. The stateroom. So we have several categories. This is the smallest stateroom, 162 square feet. It is, these are on the first level. There's no balcony and no big windows because we're down right at the water level, basically. Very nicely appointed. You look at some of the other primary river cruise companies, this category is in the 130 to 140 square foot range. That's awfully tiny. We also have our single cabins down here, and there's two of them. They're only 117 square feet. They're narrower, so they have a single bed going sideways there. And there is no single supplement in 2016 for these cabins, so they'd be the same price as half one of these Emerald staterooms. So pretty good deal for your single customers. Bathrooms are all very well appointed. There are hair dryers there. We supply bathrobes and slippers, good water pressure, everything that people need. The primary staterooms are the panorama balcony suites. Now this is not a full balcony out there. It's kind of what you would call an inside balcony. It looks like a balcony, but it's not technically outside. It does have one of our windows like we have in Scenic, but it's a double paned window with push of a button. It raises and lowers the top part of that. And so you can open it up, so an open air system, or you can close it if it's cold or wet outside. But it feels like a balcony. It's quite nice, 180 square feet, good size. 60 of our cabins are in this category. Next category up would be the grand balcony suites, and there's 8 of these. This is an outside balcony. You can see how the chairs are outside, and there's a glass door that goes out to the balcony that folds, so technically you don't have to even close that because you can close the outer window on the outside of the balcony, and for privacy, pull the drapes across. These are 210 square feet, good size, and they have an espresso coffee machine in there and concierge service should your clients need anything else. Our largest suites on the Emerald ships are the owner suites. There's 4 of them. They are 1-bedroom suites, 315 square feet, lovely with a nice walk-in closet area. Has room service, complimentary mini bar, iPad, complimentary laundry service, robes, slippers. Really, for your customers, this is one of the better values for such a nice room anywhere in the industry. Again, there's an outdoor deck there too. There's a better picture of it. Beautiful cabins. So let's talk again about the value. Just to remind you that we do include shore excursions almost pretty much every day, but we also include transfers with or without, which is something extra not everybody does. And we do have our extra short excursions, 1 or 2 a week, called Emerald Plus, that are very, very nice that other people would charge for. Wine, beer, soft drinks, lunch and dinner, and totally English-speaking staff with, of course, the whisper devices for hearing the tour guides and things like that. So Emerald Plus, a little bit more example of some of the things. We have the guided tour of the Malk Abbey. Quite often that's an extra charge from other folks. Same with a little entertainment in a Czech tavern, I mean. Glass blowing in Germany, Slovakian family dinner. So there's quite a few things that we throw into our itineraries that, again, others would charge for. So, like when they go to Passau, they have a choice of doing the Salzburg or Český Krumlov in the Czech Republic. So, again, pretty good charge from other people for doing that tour, but we feel it's very important that they experience one or the other. They're both fantastic places. Schraunbrunn Palace in Vienna. We have our bikes. There's Lisa Norton. She is our Vice President of Sales and Marketing for the U.S. market for Emerald Waterways. She got out there biking. So here's the pool. And it is a pretty good sized pool, and it has the retractable roof. You can see it's a lovely area just for hanging out during the day, even if you don't swim. About where the behind where the camera man is taking this picture, there's a bar area. It's got a 24-hour coffee machine as well as bar service, so it's very nice. I do have video here. The videos typically don't work too well and go to meetings, but the sound isn't so important, as it will show you how this transforms into a cinema. So let's see if this works. It won't take very long.
A heated pool with a retractable roof and a bar, creating a beautiful on-board oasis for you to relax in whatever the weather. On selected evenings, the pool area inventively transforms into a cinema with comfy lounge chairs, where you can enjoy classic films and recent releases, taking on-board entertainment in a completely different direction. So, if you're not in the mood to enjoy the bar or ready to retreat to your room, the cinema is a great place to spend your evening.
I hope you're able to hear that and at least see it. Back to our slides. So it's really a remarkable room, a remarkable engineering feat. How they do that, the water just goes underneath and they transform it into that cinema. So we have different cinemas each night, and some nights we turn it into just a cafe, and a lot of people like to hang out there after dinner. We have a concert, a cruise show, so we have different types of entertainment, kind of mix it up a little bit. The movies are fantastic, and so anyway, it's a great room, but again, it's full AV equipment too. So like I said, we've had several incentive type groups, doctors, things like that need to take some courses for extra credits. So it works out quite well. You can really get about 35, 40 people in it quite comfortably sitting down and doing something like that. And here's the terrace. This is from the outside looking in. You can see in the bar and the main lounge area. So let's talk about our itineraries. The 4 ships, we pretty much stick around the Rhine, the Main, and the Danube. So we have our 15-day Amsterdam to Budapest trips, and vice versa. On the Danube, we go between Nuremberg and Budapest. We have adding Prague on, a 3-night stay in Prague before or after. That's actually highly recommended that you encourage your clients to do that. Prague is a lovely city. It's not on the river, so they need transportation up and out, and we include all that. Jewels of the Rhine, this is from Amsterdam to Basel, north and south, or Basel back up to Amsterdam. And then you could take the 12-day and include the Moselle River area, which is lovely. We also have Eastern Europe down south, the southern part of the Danube, Budapest to Bucharest. A little bit different itinerary, 17 days, Bucharest all the way to Nuremberg. And then you have the springtime Netherlands and beauty of Belgium, 8-day trip when all the tulips are out in the Koekenhof Gardens. Go to Bruges and Delta Works, and some very interesting places to visit. That's only about 3 weeks in late April, early May. And then in France, we have a charter that we use for an 11-day trip on the Rhone River. New is going to be Trier to Nuremberg next year. Vietnam, Cambodia, we have a charter there. We will be announcing Irrawaddy as well. For 16, we're launching our 5th ship, which will be the Emerald Belle, identical to the other ships. The Southeast Asia itinerary, the Trier to Prague 10-night itinerary, very interesting. So it's Trier, basically Trier to, and then a trip up to Prague with an extension, with an optional extension to Paris before. Passau to Budapest instead of Nuremberg to Budapest. We spend a little bit more time in Vienna. Munich and Salzburg extensions you can add. So just to give you a visual, I'm sure you know most of these, but here's where that Netherlands and Belgium trip is. I have done this with my wife back in May. It's really a fantastic trip. Kind of exceeded our expectations. Very, very interesting. Splendors of Europe, of course, that's 5 countries, 3 rivers, and a couple canals, and a whole bunch of locks. But really going from Western Europe to Eastern Europe or vice versa. Quite an experience. Danube itself is mostly focused on Eastern Europe, with Vienna in the middle there, and then the Prague extension. And the Rhine is primarily going to be in Germany, Western Germany, and a lot of good wine and a lot of interesting places to see there, including the area there from Koblenz down, which is the all-day cruise to the Rhine Gorge, where there's 40-some castles that your clients will be able to take a look at. Then the lower Danube. In Vietnam, it's basically Vietnam and Cambodia on the Mekong River. We include quite a bit more than a lot of people do. The 7-night cruise itself is fully escorted by our cruise director, even though it's a charter. We have deluxe hotels, sightseeing by local guides, of course. Interest flights are all included. Group transfers are included. Meals. Port taxes and charges are all included. All gratuities are included. Baggage handling. We have a 2-night cruise and a junk in the Halong Bay area, up northern Vietnam. Guided tour of Angkor Wat, Khmer Rouge, the Killing Fields, Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi tours. So there's quite a bit included in these. The ship is the Mekong Navigator. This is the traditional looking ship on the Mekong. Very lovely. Let's talk about selling Emerald and how that happens. As far as groups and charters, it's a great opportunity to do groups and charters with the value that we offer. Typically, a group is 5 cabins with the number 9 as the TC. We have some sailings in 2016. We'll go to 4 cabins, so with the 7th being the TC. Typically, there's a $50 to $100 per person group discount. And we can arrange special meetings, usage of the pool cinema areas for private parties, etc. To learn more about Emerald Waterways, you want to go to the website, emeraldwaterways.com. This is the consumer side of it right here. We'll have the latest specials, a lot of other things, but on the upper, very top part, above where the logo Emerald is on the left, is Agent Portal. That's where you want to go into. This is where you can go into the booking engine. It also has an area that you can order more brochures. And you can take our new Emerald Waterway Specialist program. We'll talk about that more in a minute. But it behooves you to sign up for the booking engine. We call it Express Books. You need to get a username and password. agency can get one, and the agents can get their own separate under that one, so you can keep track of everything. But I have some background in cruise booking engines, and I can tell you that this is quite a simple one to work with, but it's more than a booking. It's a quote machine. It's a sales machine. It really helps you very quickly answer clients' questions and interests in different areas. And part of the hardest thing with river cruising today is having a client call and ask for a specific date cruise and finding the right space. It sells out very quickly. Our cruises sell out very quickly because we're an international company. We have people from all over the world, some of whom book earlier than we're used to. So it's important that you can get in there very quickly when somebody's interested. Put in the tour code, which is in the brochure, or you can find it otherwise, but the fastest way is to have a tour code, put it in, put the date range in, and then it will pull up instant availability. Actually, these are one-liners. I've expanded them by clicking on a plus. It's kind of hard to see, but down here there's a plus sign. I click on it. It shows me which categories are still available on those particular dates. I click on one of those. It will actually pull up live availability and show me which cabins. So the cabins with numbers are still available. I can click on one of those cabins. This is where you put the dietary mobility information in. This is where you find out about the discounts that are currently available, early booking discounts. But I can either create a quote or I can go ahead and book it. If my client's not ready for me to book it, even though they have 48 hours to pay the deposit, then I can create a quote, email. I typically would email it to myself. I would add a few comments, so it's coming personally from me, and send that to the client. The attachment is an invoice that will show them exactly what that cabin would cost and what discounts are available, etc. It has the full itinerary. If they then call you back and say, let's book it, you go back into the booking engine. That quote would be right front and center. You click on it, and down at the bottom here it says convert to booking. So it'll convert, you'll go grab that cabin if in fact it's still available. If it's not, it'll go back to the deck plan. You can find a similar cabin, hopefully. But you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. You'll just convert it to a booking and you finish that. So let's get into some specials. The fall specials, we have a couple now because there's some space on a few sailings left. So the Amsterdam to Budapest is only $2,604, the starting price for a 2-week trip. Pretty fantastic. And for the 8-day Rhine on October 3rd, only $1,547. So if you have somebody that's really value conscious but are able to get up and go, maybe some retired folks, these are some fantastic deals. Just hard to find anywhere else. It's such a nice ship. A couple others for Christmas markets later in the fall, late November, early December. You can see these. Great pricing. We get great reviews on the Christmas trips. So for 2016, we've actually reduced our pricing due to the euro and things like that. We dropped it almost 20%. We have more single occupancy cabins. As I mentioned, the ES cabin, the small one down at the bottom on the first deck, those there is no single supplement, and we do have select dates where there's no single supplement on the nicer cabins. So if you have some clients that would be interested in that, the thing to do, these are all capacity controlled depending on our history of how certain sailings sell. It's going to be more available in the spring and the late fall. But call our reservation office and say you have a single person who would like a category, the Grand Balcony Suite, for example, and they'll let you know which sailings that's available on. We also have a special running with free air if you book an owner suite or a Grand Balcony Suite, so one of the two higher suite levels, where they will have free economy air from the major U.S. cities. Booking the other category of crew cabin, and it's a $495 air. So these are valid specials through the end of September. We're not announcing those to the public right now, so giving you a chance to go out and market these if you want. Get some bookings coming in ASAP, but it will go out to the general public, I think, after the end of this month. So again, all our specials are capacity control. There's only X number that they'll allow per sailing just to keep the revenue consistent. So I've been asked many times for a comparison, and it's typically where they want us to compare to Viking, since we're saying we're the best value. So here's a sheet that tells you exactly. In a very similar sailing, 14-night sailing, Amsterdam, Budapest, the difference in the passengers, we have 8 fewer passengers, 4 fewer cabins on board. Like I said, our cabins are a little bit bigger than what they offer typically, but we also don't have the big suites that they offer. So this is comparing a balcony A and what they call veranda A. In that case, they have the deck on theirs. Ours does not have the deck, so that's really the difference in those two. Wi-Fi is included. You see the base cost there. We're actually a little bit higher in the base cost. That port taxes are all included, but then you start adding things like gratuities. That changes a lot. And then you add the transfers if they don't include them, if you don't buy their air. You put the extra tour on, and I did $125 per person. That's hopefully an average, could be more, could be a little less. But it comes down to the price being about $400 or $350 or so less with Emerald Waterways per day, $506 compared to $530. So in addition to that, they have that beautiful new ship with the pool and cinema. We don't charge the final payment until 90 days prior to departure. And you get a full document packet, I'll show you that in a minute, with a backpack. So it's really a step up, in my opinion, to what they get from some of the other cruise lines out there. Mentioned deposit policy is $500 per person. That's non-refundable. So they can pay a $500 deposit today for a cruise a year and a half from now. Final payment would be due 90 days prior to departure. We're in the final phases of setting up online payments, so you make all the deposit final payments online. We just introduced the Emerald Specialist Program. We have an agent incentive. You'll get a bonus when you pass that, make your first booking. In addition to that, we're having a contest. Agent who books and deposits the most people between the time you pass the course, the sooner you take it, the better. And September 30th, we receive $1,500 bonus, and second place $1,000, third place $500. So that's in addition to what you get just for passing the course. So I encourage you to go to emeraldwaterways.com, click on the agent portal. The Emerald Specialist Program will be right there. Click on it, take it. It's not too complicated. It gives you some additional facts that I may not have included today, and you can make some extra money. So here's the final documents in the backpack. It's a nice little day pack. You see people use it all the time on board, taking it to on their day tours and day trips and road documents. Here's the contact information for our business development managers around the country. We are the spot in the Northeast is open right now. We're interviewing for that, as well as in Northern California, Nevada, Utah. I pretty much cover Pacific Northwest, Alaska, and Hawaii, but I also cover these other areas that are not listed here, but are still open. If you don't have somebody, you can contact me. Be happy to help you or get you to the right person. Jerry Hamilton handles our groups in the Boston office. And if you're in Canada, by any chance, you need to go through our Canadian sales office at the Canadian website. Things are a little bit different than where they handle things up there. So with that, I will take some questions, Sandy.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Randy. That was fantastic. I think we're all ready to go out and book Emerald right now. We do have quite a few questions, and I just want to let our agents know that if we don't get to your question today, you can contact your BDM that you see up on the screen right now, and or give Emerald a call and get all your questions answered. One of our agents wants to know when Emerald's ships were built, and are they new or were they purchased from somebody else?
Brand new, built last year. So we built 2 last year, we built 2 more this year, and another one coming out. It's a unique design nobody else has, so they're brand new builds, brand new design.
Fantastic. Can you talk again a little bit about transfers from the airport? Are those only on the days that are included in the cruise tour, or if somebody comes in earlier than the cruise starts, are transfers available? Or is that only if you buy hotel space through Emerald? Can you expand a little on that?
Yeah, all that's correct. So if the transfer is included on the day of arrival, the day of departure, the cruise departs or starts. So if they arrive that day, then we'll pick them up and we'll let you know up front when they need to arrive by, in case the ship leaves earlier. If they arrive earlier on their own, then they'll need to get their own transfer. If we do have a hotel that we have a prepackage, of course, if they buy the prepackage from us, the transfers will be included. But if we have a local hotel that we work with and we're picking our people up, then if they can get that hotel, we're more than happy to take to the ship. Typically, most of the towns, they're all pretty close together, but otherwise, they'll be on their own there.
Okay. About the bicycles that you have on board, are passengers free to take them and use them for their own tours, or do you have any guided bicycle tours in the stops that you make?
There are some guided, and maybe 1, possibly 2 per week. But most part, people just take them out and ride around the smaller towns.
Okay, and we have a question about the terrace dining. Is there a menu for that? Is that also a buffet? And for which meals is that terrace open?
It's primarily breakfast and lunch. It's not really a menu. It's just a little bit small buffet area. It's meant to be light food, more healthy, light food type things. So, I typically eat up there for breakfast. I love just sitting there looking out, seeing where we were and thinking about what we're going to do that day. But it's pretty light meals. It's not a full course
Okay.
presentation.
The owner's suite, what kinds of things is the minibar stocked with? What kinds of beverages?
What kind they want. So if they want liquor, wine, beer, water, fruit juice, soft drinks, whatever they want, they're going to be taken care of. There's a concierge there that does all that for them. You just have to let them know what they want.
Excellent. One of our agents wants to know if you can explain the differences between the panoramic balcony and the grand suite. Does the panoramic have the same accordion-style glass doors as the grand?
The balcony suites are not. It's not an external balcony. The balcony is what would be termed an inside balcony. The window goes up and down. It feels kind of like balcony, but you're not really outside. You can open the window, but you can't. There's no internal door. This part of the main room, so it's actually quite nice. Whereas the grand balcony has a balcony outdoors. You can close the door to the balcony or leave it open either way. It has the external window that goes up and down, so that if it's cold or wet, you can still enjoy that balcony. But it is external. You have to see it to kind of really truly understand the differences. I'd say the internal is more like having a French balcony on some of the other ships, except that it's a glass panel and not a railing where you can see through the glass and it's nicer.
Okay, excellent. You mentioned the Emerald Plus excursions. Are those an extra cost?
The Emerald what excursions? Plus?
Yes, the Emerald Plus, yes.
Yeah, no, those are included. So the Emerald Plus are included. We do have some others that are not, that are optional, which are all listed in the brochure. But the Emerald Plus is just what it says. It's a plus in addition to the normal excursion we would have that day. There should be something extra. So, for example, in Vienna, you might have the city tour, which is typically included. And then if you want to go out to the Schönbrunn Palace and have that afternoon tour out there, that would be included.
Okay, fantastic. When the pool converts to the cinema area, how many people does the cinema hold?
About 40. They're very comfortable chairs. I can just tell you, I did that, and I mean, it was a wonderful experience. The chairs sit right on, almost on the deck. They're very comfortable. You're looking up at this huge screen, and you feel like you're in the movie almost. So depending on the movie, some you want to be in, some you don't. But it was a really, really pleasant viewing experience, and then sitting having some popcorn and a beer just adds to it.
Oh, that sounds good. One of our agents said that she tried several times to register as a new agent on the agent website unsuccessfully. Whom can she call or email for some help on that?
Just send me an email at randy.goodrich@scenicusa.com. We need your contact information, IATA or CLIA number, and we'll get you all registered.
Okay,
You'll get
great.
an email from us showing the registration.
Great. Thank you. Have you had occasions where the price of the cruise has gone down after passengers have booked? And if so, what's the policy on that?
Well, no, not really. I mean, there might be late in the year that we are having a few specials, but they're usually not for the best cabins anyway. Best cabins sell pretty quickly. So I haven't had a lot of experience in that. Our policy is we do not want to sell it for less. We want to sell it for less at the front end and not at the back end.
Okay.
There are occasions where we might have to have a special kind of closeout sale.
The specialist course, is that available for Canadian agents as well?
Not quite yet. They're working on that for both Scenic and Emerald right now.
And do you also have air promotions available from Canadian cities as well as U.S. cities?
I believe so. I'm not totally sure of that, but I'm pretty sure they do. You'd have to contact the Canadian office.
Okay. One of our agents would like to know if there are agent rates available so agents can experience this wonderful product.
First time I've heard that one.
First time I've asked it.
Yes, there are agent rates, and we'd love to get you on board. Of course, it's based a little bit on availability. You need to. The best thing to do is, if you're interested in doing that, kind of know a date range when you can do it. Is either call reservations or get on the express books. Find a sailing that's got a fair amount of open space, and then go ahead and get it booked, and then put your request into your BDM, regional manager here, and we will go back for you to try to get that approved. Right now, the rate is $495 for a 1 week cruise for an agent, $995 for a companion if they're not an agent. So it's a great deal, but it's you need to, and we are going to require that you pass the Emerald Specialist Program too, since that's out now. That's pretty simple. You could do that. The more you can convince Emerald that you have the clientele and you focus on this type of travel, obviously the more we want you to get on board, and we'll do everything we can to get you.
Okay, sounds good. Can you give us an idea of what the commission structure is for agents?
Yeah, our starting commission in the U.S. Is 12%. I don't know what it is in Canada, so it may be different. But in the U.S. it's 12. We're new to the U.S. marketplace, and it can go up from there depending on, where we see the opportunities. If your agency's aggressively marketing this type of travel to clients, and clients are very interested in taking river cruises and fit the Emerald or Scenic type of clientele, then we're certainly interested in making it worth your while to market it. We'll look to do some co-op marketing.
Okay, excellent. I think we have time for two more questions. The first is the agent portal for Emerald Waterways the same as for Scenic Cruises? That's a good question.
No, they're two different websites, scenicusa.com and emeraldwaterways.com. So they'll be kind of the same in the structure, but obviously the data and the information is different.
Okay, I'm going to sneak another question in there. So we have two more left. What's the general demographic of the passengers, age-wise, and what are we looking at as far as the passenger?
Well, I think all the river cruise companies are kind of in the same boat, where we'd be a little bit different. I mean, we're all getting a lot of baby boomers. They're the people that have the time and the money, and quite frankly, the interest. Being a baby boomer myself, I'm getting more interest in history and really wanting to see some other places in the world like this. And river cruises give you the best opportunity to do that in Europe, in my opinion. So that seems to be where the greatest demand is. I think that Emerald is, with the pool and the cinema, able to perhaps bring in a little bit lower age demographic. With that, maybe bring some families on board. We have more things for the kids to do. Kids being 20s and 30-year-olds. But we'll have more Australians, of course, New Zealanders. This last cruise I was on, probably a fourth were from Australia, New Zealand, or maybe a third from there, a third from the UK and Europe, and the rest from North America. That's pretty much the typical mix. The North American mix is increasing. A year ago, I would have said maybe 15% from North America. So it's doubled in the last year, and we expect it to continue that trend going forward.
Okay, and our last question is, we have several agents familiar with scenic cruises as well. Can you give us a general idea of the differences between Emerald and scenic, and who should be interested in which one?
Well, it's if I put myself in the chair of an agent and had a client walking in, if that client was looking for the river cruise experience to really focus on value, they wanted a good value that was more important to them, and some extra perks, then I would definitely steer them to Emerald as their first experience. If I had a client that came in knew I'd put on Regent, Silversea, Crystal, Seabourn, or very luxurious resort packages, things like that. People who, it's not so much about the cost, not that scenic is that much more expensive, but it's more about if I'm going to go, I want to go with the best. I want to have everything possible included. I want whatever extra perks are out there, then you want to definitely steer them towards scenic.
Great answer. Thank you so much. This has been a fantastic webinar. I want to thank you. Our guest speaker has been Randy Goodrich, who is a trainer and business development manager for both Emerald Waterways and Scenic Cruises. Randy, as usual, this has been really important and filled with great information, so thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time today. Good luck selling.
Thank you, and thanks to all our agents for being here. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.